Hello, MotoAmerica fans. It's time for another episode of Off Track with Carruthers and Bice. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you may even learn something from this unlikely pair and their special guest. The mic is yours, Paul and Sean.
Hello, MotoAmerica fans, and welcome to this latest edition of Off Track with Carruthers and Bice. This is our last round of the season. We're at Barber Motorsports Park for the 10th and deciding round of the Medallia Superbike Series. And what better time than now to have the two main protagonists in their series, Jake Gagne, who's leading right now and the defending champion, and Danilo Petrucci, who's 4 points behind, but it's in a mortal lock pretty much. And I want to mention this podcast is brought to you guys by MANSCAPED. And if you go on MANSCAPED and put in Off Track as a code, you'll get 20% off on a purchase and free shipping. And we're not going to shave anybody down on this episode, but at any rate, Danilo, did you see what happened to Heron in that?
Unfortunately, it was the only show I watched, and the last one.
Yeah,
because everyone told me it was Prime. It was really, really fabulous. In one moment, after 4 or 5 minutes, I thought you were not understanding. You were on camera, but it was really, really funny. I enjoyed.
Yeah, we did lose our minds a little bit. I forgot where.
That's why he shaved today.
Yeah, exactly. Also the legs, everything. For no chance.
All right, so let's get this podcast started. So, Jake, let's talk to you first. You've been around this track a bunch of times. I want to ask you, so this track has been repaved. It's been, 2 or 3 years now? So when you have a track that's repaved, it's pretty abrasive in the beginning. Does it come into its own after a couple of years? And would you say maybe the surface at Barber is probably the best it could be right now?
Yeah, I'd say right about now is pretty sweet. We know the first year we came here was really, really weird. You know, you'd have really killer grip in some areas, and then you'd lose the rear on the entry in some other weird areas. But I think it's settled in nicely now. You know, they have so much action here, so much racing and cars and bikes that it's probably at a really good spot. And obviously Barber always does everything right. You know, they don't mess around. They make sure they get it done right. And so I'm sure the surface is always really awesome. The grass is really green too. So.
Yeah, Danilo, you've been to this track. You tested here a little bit. You walked around. I think one of your first weekend, or possibly you did some video shooting around here, and I enjoyed watching that. Josh Hayes always said this track has a European feel to it, but it looks like it was put in a photocopier and reduced in size by 75%. If it was maybe 25% bigger, I mean, it might be something.
Yeah, I must say it's one of the best track I ever been, but not only for the track, for the layout, but also for the surrounding. It's really, really nice, and also the pavement is good. The layout is nice. Yeah, it's such a small compare. I mean, could have been bigger, and maybe the one of the best circuit in the world. But it's nice. I've been here at the beginning of May. And was good because it's really, really flowing. You spend a lot of time with the bike on maximum lean angle, and let's say the only a bad thing, but it's not really bad. It's that it's small, and but it's really, really nice. I enjoyed.
Okay, you know your team owner Bobby. He's full of shit most of the time, right? So he stirs it if he doesn't have it. So he told me today that when you rode here, you were under the lap record. Is that Bobby talk or real?
I don't remember which lap time I rode and which is the lap the lap record here. So, but the problem, at this year was that we went testing, for example. Where we go? Also to New Jersey. We went here, and I don't remember other few tracks. But at the end of the day, say, we can be happy. We are like very, very fast. The problem is that when we get this year to the track, Jake was 1 second faster than the previous year. So it's really not. It's really useful, not useless, to do the lap record during tests, because then during the race this year he was able to make always a step, and for us was difficult to follow him.
So it's only useful if he goes the same speed as last year.
Yeah, if it's 1 second faster, like every race this year is useless.
Okay, I think when I think about the weekend coming up, most people think Sunday is the most important. And I think Saturday is more important than Sunday for both of you. If you win on Saturday, Sunday may not be a big deal. You know what I mean? If he wins on Saturday, suddenly Sunday's a big deal for both. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, true. I mean, we haven't sat down and ran the numbers much, but anything can happen. And for sure, if whoever wins on Saturday, I think we'll have a little bit less stress going into Sunday. But no matter what, it's going to be close. And no matter what, neither of us want to make any mistakes on either of the days, or else it is pretty much over. If one of us has a DNF, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, it's over, So there's some of that I'm sure we're both thinking of. But at the end of the day, we just got to do what we've been doing all year and just do the best we can and try to keep it up on two wheels, try to be fast. But it's cool, man. I've never been in this position where we won the championship last year, but we had such a big gap. I really never thought about it. And even in the super stock or 600s in the years that's passed in MotoAmerica, this thing's coming down to the wire. So it's exciting, and it's been even all week, we sit around all week at home. We've been off for a week and a half or whatever. And it's normally I'm cool, having a little time off, but I almost just wanted, let's just get here and get it done with, get to the track and just get it going. And so we're finally here. So we get to hit the track tomorrow.
And excuse me, this is a good place for it to be. I mean, it's safe, it's a nice track. And I think going to somewhere like New Jersey for the last round might be a little make you a little more nervous, right?
Yeah. Like we said, I've never met anybody that doesn't like this track. It's really quality. Like we said, they've done a great job. It's safe. It's a fun layout. And so it's just one of those things where I think we just want to, I'm sure Danilo feels the same way. We just want to get out and just get it done and stop thinking about it,
Danilo, how many times did you check the weather app on your phone? Every hour?
You know what? I was good also in MotoGP on the wet, and but let's say often I was in trouble on the dry, and so I always checked. But no worry, today is Friday, and I was so slow. But Sunday's gonna rain. No matter what, Sunday's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. And then you arrive at Sunday and the sun is shining. You are in big trouble.
And then you're
yeah. So it's since quite a lot of years that I don't watch anymore the weather forecast. But this time yesterday, not yesterday, 2 days ago, before coming here, because I was in Pennsylvania and it was so cold, so cool. I was about 60 degrees. So I say, it's not bad. Mm-hmm. But then I checked Alabama and it was almost the double. So
yeah, and you told us earlier. I mean, it's as bad as Malaysia.
Yeah. I've been thinking all the year that I was not expecting to have this kind of weather in USA, but for me it was a shock in Virginia because it was really, really tough. The race was tough. The asphalt was greasy, and the temperature was unbelievable. And it's not a secret. I suffer a lot. I sweat a lot, and when it's so hot, it's not my best. But we have to deal with it. But yeah, at least I was not hoping for the rain, but at least
cooler,
a little bit cooler for not having.
I think we all agree with that. Yeah. We all like it a little cooler.
Yeah, I think it's let's say it's an help for everyone. I think all the riders struggle a little bit less if it's cooler, even because this track is giving you not so much rest, so it's challenging.
Danilo, can you explain what it is about racing in the rain? I mean, Matthew Skoltz does pretty well in the wet too, to the point where he actually doesn't like to talk about wins that he's had in the rain. He thinks of it as being, well, okay, it was wet. He doesn't want to even have that. He wants to be able to win and races in the dry. What does it take? Why are you so good in the rain, in the wet?
Sincerely, it's a question that many people ask to me, and I don't have a really 100%, let's say, reason. One of the thing was that, for example, I am, let's say, not in advantage when it's dry because I'm heavy and bigger, and on the rain, I have more traction out of the corner.
Okay.
This is, let's say, law of physics, let's say. Another thing was that till 14 years old, I was just riding off-road bikes. And then when I joined road racing, I was so scared to riding under the rain. I got injured many times. In 2008, my first European Championship season, in Donington Park, they don't allow me to go into the race because I crashed hard, and they brought me in the medical center in FP1, FP2, FP3, FP4, and then after qualifying they said,
No more.
no, we don't want to see you anymore, and they don't allow me to do the race. And so I was really I was scared. But then when I went in MotoGP, I understood that was my only chance to go under the spotlight. When I started my career in MotoGP, I was really slow. My bike was so slow, and I really, for the first 3 years, the first and the third year, some races I qualified last and I finished last. So I said, was a little bit more help. The rain was an help for me because having a less powerful bike was more easy to ride, and I was able to go into the top 10. And then yeah, I have just because I thought many times why I feel so good under the rain, but I don't have any particular secret. I mean, because everything is just more slow. You need to be more smooth. Everything comes really in slow. But yeah, let's say having a 40 minutes race under the rain it's like 8 hours. Feels like, because you are scared to crash every corner.
Are you on the edge? Are you worried about that when you're racing in the rain?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you are. I mean, obvious question, but well, okay. You know what? I have to ask you guys both the question, and this is for the fans out there. We run stuff on social media all the time about great saves, amazing saves that you guys have, or out of shape with the bike, and it drives me crazy. We get comments on there, and they're always talking, oh, they must have had to show the flag with the brown stripe on it, or he had to change his leathers. I'm like, Danilo, have you ever pooped your pants while you're out on the track?
No. On track, no, but this January at the Dakar, I was really risky. One time, because I mean, it's like you cannot stop. And you have like a space, like 300 yards where the stage finish, and after 300 yards, you have like a space where are then all the referee, the marshal that gives you, you have to give a paper, they stamp you something, and they tell you the ranking, the position everywhere, if there are some trouble around. And the penultimate stage, I stopped for my needs in this 300 meters, 300 yards. And so I poop in front of the marshal because last days of the Dakar was terrible on the stomach side because I was plenty. I got cut here, and they were giving me antibiotics, but I had also a broken talus, so anti-inflammatory and painkiller, antibiotics.
Yeah.
a war inside my stomach.
Yeah, it was a war.
Was a big problem. Last days was a big problem, more than the navigation.
But Jake, the pucker moment. I mean, do you get when that happens? Do you like, oh shit? I mean, but you don't literally do that.
No, I don't know anybody. I would think it's just a figure of speech. I don't know if anybody's actually scared the shit out of themselves.
Right.
Literally.
It just drives me nuts. It's like, you guys are professionals. I mean, you guys stop talking about that. These guys are not going to do that on the track.
People
I
like
mean,
talking about poop. There's
Yeah,
just something
it
It
about
happens in movies
We're
when a
doing
guy's got a gun at someone's head and they do, they like,
yeah,
they think they're going to die. I mean,
yeah, pee their pants or whatever.
yeah.
So, Danilo, it's obvious that one of the things you need to do here is get in front of Jake. So, in qualifying at this track or in any track, when you're on the front row, is it important for you to be on pole, or can you get a good start from the front row and get in front of Jake?
Let's say I have never been a rider who start in a good position, and always, I mean, the same reason. I'm heavier and
Wait,
taller. Yeah,
Sure.
and so for me, keeping the position at the first corner is a good start. But then we had the chance this year. I remember in Laguna, I was starting second and Jake third, but he was always doing the all shot, and was my one of the thing I wanted to do as strategy, to start at least in front of him, for try to stop him. But this year was never possible to do that. It's good, let's say, to start in the front for sure. But yeah, let's say there is not so much to say. He has been faster than me in qualifying and in races. So yeah, I would like sincerely to start in one time in front of him.
Right. Well, but that's the thing that's amazing, Jake. We've talked about this with you before. I mean, a couple of years ago, you had some weird situations on the start line. There was
Bad
that one
starts,
time.
yeah.
You had a burnout or whatever one time. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What the heck is going on? I mean, you transformed yourself. Did you go to a drag strip and learn how to? I mean, what happened? How did you
No,
transform that?
I think our Yamahas definitely now, whatever we figured out the last couple of years, they get off the line really well. You can see, I know Danilo with the Ducati, you can tell it's not so easy to get the power and keep the wheelie down and all of those things, but we have a good launch setting in our bike. But I used to be bad at starts, for years. I remember even when I was riding for Road Race Factory years ago on the Honda, Danny Walker said he'd give me $1,000 if I didn't go backwards on the start, and it was the only start all year where I actually passed somebody and made $1,000. So
Did he
thanks,
pay
Danny.
you?
Yeah, thanks, Walker. Yeah,
But I mean, Super Camp, you did that. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously did a lot of motocross. How were your starts in motocross? Were you
really good actually. Like my whole motocross, 50s, 60s, and 85s when I was racing. I was actually like a really good starter, and then I got on the asphalt, and I just couldn't figure it out. What year was your first year on asphalt?
Was in 2005, and I was 15 years old, and I just did 3-4 races, and then the year after, when I was 15, 16, I did like a CBR trophy in Italy. But to tell the truth, I start with the trials when I was really
Wow.
8-9 years old. Then in 2000, I switched to minicross with the 85cc, and but I was always dreaming to switch to road racing one day. So yeah, I was good. Let's say sometimes top 5, top 10 in Italy. But the fact was that after 2 years that I was racing minicross, I was so skinny, so small. But then I got this big injury
Right.
here,
Right.
and in 2001, from let's say May to September, they fed me with cortisone, and I went like 2 times per week in the hospital. They reopen these, they keep out all the infection, all the things, and from these, I became like this in 4 months. So when I was 12 years old, I was almost the double when I was 11. And from that on, I quit to have a good start.
Yeah.
Then from that moment on, it started my problem with my weight. Even if I always try to stay fit. No, when I was young, I was even a bit fat. Then when I switched to the professional side, when I switched to road racing, I started to be, but no, I cannot be skinny than this.
And Jake, health-wise, you're in pretty good shape now. I mean, you had that situation. Well, obviously, we know what happened at Brainerd, but prior to that, at Daytona, I mean, you had that crazy get off there, and we've always been worried about that one leg that you broke. But despite those pretty big get offs this year, you're okay. You're healthy.
Yeah, no, I feel better than ever. Really, it's weird. Even I'm 20. I just turned 29 a couple weeks ago, so I still feel better. I still feel better than I ever have, even when I was 20 or whatever, so I still feel like I'm able to. Obviously, I've had a couple injuries over the years, nothing that bad. Like my leg gave me issues for years. I couldn't run or really even do too much Bice clean or anything like that. But once I got all the metal out, actually last year, like this off season, and this year is the first time I've been able to run in 4 years, which was like definitely helped me just have more fun with my training and be a little bit more fitter and not have to worry about pounding it too hard, which is nice,
Okay, we want to see it, and the fans want to see it. He probably wants to see it. You maybe don't want to see it, but deep down inside, would you like to have a battle?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's easy.
We fought in the championship, but not in the race. It's like we are doing 2 different championships.
It's weird like that.
No,
it's
like
weird.
I told you before, I try to find photos with you and him in the same photo, and it doesn't exist. There's plenty with
There's
him and
some
Cameron.
magnets that keep us apart or
Right.
something.
So, I mean, it would be awesome to battle, right? I mean, you would enjoy that.
Yeah, that's why, we all love that as racers. And, but at the same time, we're here to do a job, and that's to try to win races, try to win the championship for our teams and our sponsors. And the best way for me to win races is to go and do my laps. I know how hard this guy, I know how good he can ride. I know how smart and clever of a racer he is. I've seen it. I've watched it on TV, just not
Right.
firsthand, So for me to do my job, I just got to try to take the best route. And that's, we've had, we're lucky that the bike is really good and we've had the pace to be able to pull a little bit of a gap in some of these races. So for me and the crew, like, that's kind of the best way to go about it. But if not, like he says, we're always ready for a battle. That's what everybody wants to see on TV, when watching from trackside. So
Yeah, and if you really wanted it, though, you could wait up a little bit.
Of course. I don't know. Maybe this weekend's not the best time for that.
Maybe now's not the good time to start.
But
Early next year.
Yeah, no.
Danilo, we don't know what you're doing next year, and I don't know that you know either.
Me either. Huh?
We want you to come back.
Yes.
And we think it would be great for you to have, because I see such an advantage for you if you go to Road Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
And you've been there and you have notes on the bike and you have some settings that you can only maybe have to change a little bit instead of a lot. And it would make a big difference in how you perform over the course of the season. Is the decision you, or is the decision with the team?
No, it's me. Everyone is waiting for me. Let's say this year there have been some things that I didn't like technically on the bike, because let's say after the first 2 tests, we ran out of ideas with our bike, because when you change a lot of things on the bike but nothing changed, even the feeling, it's not funny to ride the bike. And our bike is such particular bike, got half of the swing arm, half of the chassis, so stiff. And in this kind of track, every bump for me is terrible. And we have not so much traction. I don't know if knowing the track could have been better for us. I don't know this. For sure, I would like to win this championship. I don't know, sincerely, if it's possible this year, because if everything goes like all the races, like you said, we have never have a fight. So let's say I'm not even sad or disappointed because we gave our best, and I had fun a lot of times. I had no fun sometimes, but looking at the big picture, I enjoyed to race here. And sincerely, if Sunday I lose the championship, 99% I will come back next year. And because I like to go racing and I like to be in front. And but there are some things, especially inside our team, that we need to change. And if we solve these things, let's say we can discuss about the next year. But then at the moment, I don't have an answer at the moment because I know Dunlop wants to change a bit the rear tire, the bike maybe. For what I understood, it's the same bike, the bike of next year, but we don't have any, let's say, development.
Mm-hmm.
We just take the bike from Ducati and put the Dunlop on it. And they are so different to the bike in the World Championship.
Well, one of the things about you, would you come back for me?
And if you ask me like this, I will come back for sure.
And you would come back. I think Leticia wants to be here too. You would do it for her, for sure. So
yeah, maybe. Oh, we enjoyed to going around, and it's such a big country, and it's nice. I must say that I prefer the West Coast.
Yeah, I understand that.
What's been your favorite place here in America, you think? Favorite day? Or
I think it's hard to say, but I think California is such lovely, and it got many places. I would like to go maybe one time Utah, Colorado also, in Colorado, because everyone saying that it's really beautiful to go on the bike with motorbikes and everything.
Yeah.
And but the fact was that I spent most of the time in the other side,
Right,
in the center and on the East Coast. So I enjoyed, but definitely California for me, but not only USA, but for me is one of the best places in the world, and I really enjoyed. Spend a lot of time there, riding their bikes on track in the desert. It's nice. Yeah.
Is Dakar for sure, or does it depend on what happens?
Not this year, not for sure. Because I would have I would have to Morocco next week immediately, and when I prepared the Dakar last year, I was 2 times per week. I was going riding dirt bikes in the bush or on track, motocross track. This year I went 6-7 times in all the year, and next week I would have gone to Morocco because there is a qualification rally, so was not possible, and I'm really so tired. I cannot wait to Sunday evening.
Yeah,
really, I must say, whatever is the result, I will be happy. Whatever.
You'll sleep good no matter what.
We gave our best. For me, it was like 2 years in one.
yeah.
And I got no rest, nothing. And I told you, I'm telling the truth. I'm so happy to have broke this, let's say this battle till the end. And but yeah, for this year I stop pressure. I cannot have enough, and I'm so happy to have race here against Jake.
So Danilo, did it seem like the season went quick for you, or did it go by slow?
I don't know why, but for me, looks like Austin, the first race was long way ago.
Oh,
Don't know why, but mainly because mentally I start this season already tired.
yes,
And
yes.
so yeah, I definitely need a bit of rest. And but then looking the calendar, it went quite fast, but because we got not a big stop in the middle or something like that. And but I feel like we raced in Austin like 2 years ago.
Yeah. What about you, Jake? Did it go by quick?
Yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah.
I feel like every year kind of goes by quicker and quicker. You know, it's like you said though. When you think about Coda, it does seem like a long way back, but just the weekends go by so quick, and it makes like the time in between all the races. You know, if we go home and I say I have a week and a half or 2 weeks at home, that time goes by really
It
quick.
does.
And then almost the race weekends go by slow. You know, yeah.
Yeah, we always say once we get into like Saturday and Sunday, it goes quick. But man, Friday, is a little bit slower. Jake, so Danilo talked about Morocco after so you got something going on after. What's your situation like Monday? And then tell me about what you're going to be doing. Tell us.
We finish here Sunday, and then I fly home on Monday, and the team will head back in the truck. Richard and the guys will be driving the truck straight here from Sunday night to get the stuff back, to put it in a box and ship it out on Friday or Saturday to get it over to Portugal. I'll be home for a couple days. I think I fly out on Saturday and get there on Sunday so I can hang out in Portugal for a couple days and make sure I'm not jet lagged and all that. But yeah, I'm excited, man. It'll be cool. It's hard. I keep saying it's hard to think about, because we still have 2 races here to think about. But I'm excited, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't feel a whole lot of pressure. The team, I don't think, feels the same way. We just want to go do the best we can, and wherever we end up, and that's kind of what I say all the time, but we just want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we have a good time and do our best. Of course, we want to do well. We want to, I feel like I'm kind of a representative for MotoAmerica now, so I want to make sure the whole paddock here, wants me to do well, and make this whole paddock in the series look good. So I'm going to go, I'm going to give it my all. I know I got a great motorcycle. Obviously there's a lot of new things. I haven't spent much time on the Pirellis and racing a whole bunch of different guys. And fortunately I've been to Portimao before. The track, it's one of those tracks I always loved. It's like here. It's hard not to love that track. It's really cool. And so, yeah, it'll be a scramble. Get finished up with this weekend. Then I'll have my eyes forward to Portimao and, just try to do the best we can, see where we end up, enjoy the ride, and try to, like I said, try to make MotoAmerica and all the guys here proud.
Danilo, the situation with World Superbike, the track. How do you think he will do?
Sincerely, I hope he win, because
it makes you look better, right?
Yeah, exactly. I hope he wins. And but sincerely, I've been happy to have shared the track with Jake this year, and this kind of not a lot, not fights, but this championship. And I didn't expect it was so, let's say, complete as a rider, and really makes me, let's say, proud, because last year he won all the races. This year at least we gave him a bit of
some trouble.
Yeah,
made him crash.
Some trouble.
Made me push me into some mistakes.
And,
it was like you said, like not so much battling on the track, but always battle of lap times and looking at the screens and seeing how close Danilo Petrucci was to me.
Right.
Well, it'll sure be interesting to see. We're going to wrap it up here and give these guys some time to get back to their paddock areas and talk to their teams. We got a lot ahead of them this weekend. Obviously, it's head-to-head between these two here at Barber Motorsports Park. 2 races, one on Saturday, 3:10, the other one on Sunday at 3:10. For sure, subscribe to MotoAmerica Live Plus, our streaming subscription service, so you can watch these guys show their best. This is the premier series of road racing with some of the best riders in the world. And absolutely go on to manscaped.com and put in off track for the code, and you'll get 20% off on a purchase and free shipping. And, groom yourself, boys and girls, if you want to.
I have one last question.
Yeah.
If you had $500 and you had to bet on the race, would you bet on Jake or would you bet on you for the championship?
For the championship.
Oh, you're asking him or you're
I'm going to ask both.
That's
No, we won't answer that.
That's like when he asked. That's what when he asked Travis Wyman who he liked better, Kyle or Cody. It's like, come on, you can't choose between your brothers.
No, I don't know. It's a big question. It depends if I want to win the championship or the money. But if I win the championship, I win the money anyway.
Right, exactly. That's the answer.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
That's the answer.
All right. Well, I
Thank
wish
you.
both of you good luck.
Yeah,
And I
good
hope
luck,
you have
you
a
guys.
battle and everybody's safe and we have a nice end to our championship. And thank you guys for coming and joining
Thank
us.
you.